Hello, and welcome to this. I'm ranting my way through life, and today we're gonna get a little deep, so bear with me. And a woman came to my door the other day to invite me to this church event. Now, this happens pretty regularly, like I would say once a month or so, because there's this church right down the road, and it's not an LDS church. There is an LDS church right down the road. This is Utah after all, but like, it's a different one. And they have these concerts pretty regularly, and then the next day they have church as per usual, as every Sunday. So I get things in the mail sometimes, and sometimes I have people come to my door. Sometimes I'm here when they come to the door, sometimes I'm not. Anyway, point is, this time I was here. It was Saturday morning. There was this concert going on that night, and this woman wanted to invite me personally to come to the concert and then also to come to church the next day. Yay! So, as I usually do, I politely took her little flyer pamphlet thing. It was just a flyer. Politely took her little flyer thing and said thank you. Didn't say that I was going to attend, just said thank you, and went to close the door, and she asked, "What is your relationship with God?" Now, I am not one to lie to these people when they come to my door, because I don't see the purpose of that. Now, yeah, sure, it'll be awkward, whatever, but like, I don't know, I'm not just gonna lie to this person, like I have no reason to, so I say, I'm a big atheist. Yeah, and, you know, as a polite person, I wait for her response, and she's just like, "Why don't you believe in God?" And I say, well, I just don't, because frankly, she's not owed an explanation from me. I'm not gonna freaking have a whole conversation with this stranger about why I don't believe in God. Like, tangent a little bit, I'm so annoyed that in Utah, it's totally normal for people to ask those kinds of questions. Like, it's totally socially acceptable here to ask that shit. And like, most places it's not. It's just not. Like, you just don't ask, you know? Like, you might ask if they're part of your religion specifically, but if they're not, then you just don't. But anyway, so she asks, and I say, well, I just don't. And again, I go to close the door and say thank you for stopping by, whatever. And she says, well, can I share my experience with you? And then without even waiting for a response to that question, she just dives right into, 5 years ago, I was a heroin addict.
Okay.
And before I gave myself over to Jesus. Like, I hate that phrasing. It's so creepy. Like, what? I gave myself up. That's so gross. Stop saying things like that. Please, for the love of Jesus, stop saying things like that. It's so weird. Anyway, so at that point, I had had enough. I had been perfectly polite. I had been polite to all the other people who had come from her same church to try to get me to come to these weird concerts. Like, I've done my part in trying to have atheists viewed better. Like, whatever. I've done it. And I'm done. Because I had already been having a really crappy day. Like, it was bad timing for this woman. And to, on top of it, come at me with this crap. So I interrupted her and said, well, that's nice. It sounds like you just traded one addiction for another. And closed the door. That was that. Usually not like that. I'm usually perfectly polite and whatever. Like, I don't give a crap what people believe in. Like, I really don't. But really? So, going back to what she said to me, why am I an atheist? Why don't I believe in God? Or any other higher power for that matter, because shocker, there are more higher powers that people believe in, that people have whole religions based on, that are not the Christian God. There are thousands and thousands of gods, and the only difference between an atheist and a Christian is that an atheist believes in one less of them. So in my last video talking about religion, which you can find somewhere up here, or down in the description, or at the end of the video, as usual. I talked about why I'm not a Mormon anymore, my issues with that specific religion, but I didn't really go super into why I'm an atheist now. Because, you know, a lot of people leave the Mormon church, but then they go to a different church, or whatever. A lot of people leave the LDS church and go be Jehovah's Witnesses, and vice versa. It's really weird. So, that's what this video is about. Why am I an atheist? Why do I not believe in God? Or any other higher power? So, there were a couple comments on that post that I'm going to go over in this as well. So the first one, hi, love the video. I especially like your style and personality. The cat is cool too. But I think it's sad that you lost faith in God or a higher power because of the LDS church. I'm not Mormon, but I am Christian, and I truly hope you find your way through life and find your way back to God. Not Mormonism. Having a personal relationship with Jesus in the privacy of your own mind and heart is fine. You don't have to belong to a church to believe in God. Anyhow, I'm researching faith and I came across this video as I believe in Christ, not religion. If that makes sense. Now I'm rambling. Keep up the good work and enjoy life. I really appreciate this comment. This honestly just goes to show, like, exactly the type of Christian that I appreciate. Like, yes, this person is still, like, saying that I should believe in God, which I don't agree with, but, like, they're not being super pushy about it, and they're being nice. And they said things that they liked about my video, which I appreciate. Like, it's nice. It's a nice comment. Like, I don't have to agree with them to be able to observe that it's a nice comment. And, like, yeah. And so I want to break down the comment a little bit in this video. So, first off, I think it's sad that you lost faith in God or a higher power because of the LDS church. So, first off, thank you for saying a higher power or a higher power. Like, any acknowledgement that other faiths exist is great in my book. Like, any Christian who can acknowledge that, like, other beliefs exist and that's fine, like, that's great. Having said that, I did not lose my whole faith in all kinds of higher powers when I left the LDS church, or, like, because of the LDS church. It wasn't like the LDS church soiled the whole concept of either organized religion or even just spirituality as a whole concept. Like, that's not what happened. I did not lose faith in everything because of the LDS church. When I first stopped attending the LDS church, I still believed in something. I wasn't sure what it was. I wasn't sure what form it should take in my life. I wasn't sure how I should practice belief in this thing, mostly because I didn't know what the thing was that I believed in, but I knew, or thought I knew, there had to be something. Some kind of higher power. There's gotta be something. So I was still a theist at that point. I was not an atheist when I first left the church. I was still fully believing in something. Next part of the comment. I am well, not the next part, but, like, the next part that I'm gonna go over. I am researching faith and came across this video as I believe in Christ, just not religion. So I also did a lot of research when I first left the church. Like I said, I believed that there was something out there in the world, some kind of higher power thing existing. And I just needed to figure out what that was. So I started researching. I researched various Abrahamic religions, other flavors of Christianity, Judaism, all kinds of stuff. I researched, I checked books out of the library, I read, I researched online, I did the whole shebang. And I also went into pagan religions, like various pagan religions, and what I found was a whole lot of the same. Now obviously the pagan religions were pretty different from what I had been raised in, but even still, there was still the same kind of formula. It was still a belief in something, and there were rules and regulations, and there was this expectation, and all of these expectations were being proclaimed by mortals, like mortal beings, and these people claimed to be speaking for God or whatever it was. And I don't know, it just all felt very much the same to me. So I thought, well, maybe I'm just not cut out for religion, like organized religion. Maybe I just want to have an individual faith, kind of like what this commenter seems to be saying that they do. I didn't want to follow any religion that like placed men above women in any way, shape, or form. So that pretty much left certain branches of paganism. Most branches of paganism, actually. But I dabbled mostly in like Wicca for a while, and that was cool. But like, and especially because that religion in particular is not so much a religion as like a practice, and also is oftentimes practiced individually. Bandit, do you mind? As per usual, my cats are all over the place. The more I researched and the more I like tried to practice, the more it nagged on me that even if I didn't follow like a structured religion, like an organized religion, I still was placing some other being's needs above mine. And, you know, I know that some people, especially those who practice Wicca, don't necessarily view it that way. They view it as more like a partnership. But for me, that wasn't working. I tried to view it as a partnership and view it as like, we're working together, blah, blah, blah. But like, this being is all-knowing, all-powerful. Like, why would they work with me? You know what I mean? So, anyway, that didn't really work out for me. So it definitely still felt like I was placing this being above myself. Also, I was kind of starting to feel like this being only existed in my mind, that I only like created it in my mind to be able to have something to project onto, to project my feelings and whatever onto. So now I'm gonna jump over to another comment, and I swear it's gonna tie in. Just wait. So the comment says, how's your relationship with your family nowadays? Is there anything you miss from the old days? Are you actively or passively trying to get other Mormons out of their faith? So, I want to go over that first question just real quick. My relationship with my family is pretty much non-existent these days, but it's not because I'm not Mormon, although I don't think that that really helped.
There's loads of reasons.
That's all I'm gonna say on that, for right now at least. My family now is these crazy freaking cats that run all over the place and interrupt my filming. The second question, is there anything you miss from the old days? Sure! Loads of things. Like, so many things. There were great things from the old days. Like, it's great. I had really good friends when I was in the church. I learned really valuable life skills. Went camping every year with my youth group. There was always some kind of activity going on literally every week. If there was a week where there wasn't an activity going on, it was weird. Like, there was always something to do. There's always a community that you can fall neatly into. Like, that mostly is what I miss from the old days, is the sense of community. Because literally no matter where you move, especially in Utah and Idaho, there is a ward and a stake and just this whole structure that is familiar and literally feels like a family, or it feels like a small town within the larger wherever you are. Whether it's a city or whatever. Like, it's like having a small town where everybody knows each other and whatever. So all the pros that apply to a small town also apply to the LDS Church, basically. That said, those things didn't weigh out the bad. They didn't weigh out the fact that I still struggle with guilt over stupid things. They don't outweigh the fact that I feel like my teen years were wasted following this religion and not experimenting with other things and figuring out who the hell I am. And even still, even as a 26-year-old person, I still don't really know who I am. And I've experimented with different things all throughout my early 20s, and that's been great. And there are some things that I'm really glad that I did, and some things that I'm not so glad that I did. But like, overall, I figured out what I do and don't like to a degree, but I'm still figuring that out at 26. And like, I know, that's like a lifelong pursuit to figure out who you are because you change as you go, but like, I feel like I don't have anything sometimes. Or at least very little. Bandit, do you fucking mind? Anyway. And I know part of the reason why I don't really feel like I have any idea who I am or what I want or where I'm going in life or anything like that, just constant existential crisis, is because I spent so long with my head down in prayer, not looking at the world around me. And then once I looked around and saw what there was, there's no going back. You know? I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my time doing anything. And the fact of the matter is, even when I researched other religions, I still felt like I was wasting my time. I still felt like I was just filling a hole. I was following these rituals to fill a hole in my life. Rather than finding something that complemented who I was trying to replace who I could be, basically. When I started practicing different religions, or at least trying to, I felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again, and the same thing has happened with so many other stuff. Like, it's crazy. I feel like I'm replacing one addiction with another over and over and over again. So, final question from that comment. Do you actively or passively try to get other Mormons out of their faith? No. If someone asks me what my beliefs are, then I'll tell them, and I guess if you consider making these videos as, like, trying to get people out of their faith, then sure. But I'm not really trying to, you know? Why is it that when I try to do a video, that is when my cats decide to go completely freaking insane? God. I'm not trying to pull anybody away from their faith by making these videos. Like, I'm making these videos for myself and for the few people who want to watch them. If a Mormon doesn't want to be pulled from their faith or doesn't want to risk it, then they won't click on a video about somebody being an atheist or why I left the LDS church or whatever. Like, they're just not going to. And if they do, then that's their own problem. There you go. And also, I've spent a load of time researching, like, what I like, who I am, all of that, all these different religions, whatever. And I'm still trying to figure out who I am. That's part of... Oh, stop it! That's part of why I'm here making videos, is because I'm trying to figure out who the heck I am. So, based on, like, what I want to make videos on, what I'm passionate about, what I'm interested in, what I want to tell the world. Listen to me. Listen to me scream into the void while I try to figure out why I'm screaming into the void. Basically. My being an atheist is one of the few things that I've figured out is part of who I am. And it's one of the few things that I've found that consistently I feel like I'm not wasting my time being. And, like, I don't really do much with it. Like, I don't go to organizations. Like, there's an Atheists of Utah organization. I don't go to it. And I don't go to, like, ex-Mormon stuff anymore. I don't do any of that. Like, it's, yeah. Because I feel like that would still be kind of wasting my time, personally. It's good for other people, but personally I feel like I was wasting my time. Because just being an atheist is good for me. And if other people feel like being a Mormon is part of who they are and they feel fulfilled by being a Mormon and participating in the church, or they feel fulfilled just believing in some kind of higher power and they don't really follow a religion and that's good enough for them, then that's great. I spent a lot of my time, a lot of my years on this earth being told who I'm supposed to be, and I am not going to be the person who tells other people what they're supposed to be. So, to sum up, to answer the question, the original question posed by the random woman who came to my door, I am an atheist because I am. That's it. It's just that simple. I just am. That's one of the things that I can say for sure. I can just say without a doubt, that is me. I am an atheist. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below. You know what to do. Hit that like button if you like this, and hit the subscribe if you want to see more. If you want to see more of me tripping over my words and trying to figure out who I am, hit that subscribe button. It's great. Thanks for watching. Bye, friends.